Today we're going to talk about AWS billing budgets, right? AWS Budgets is the name of the service. We're going to set it to make sure we never have to spend a dime on our lab. So here we go. Let's get right into it. All right, so as you can see here, fam, we are at our AWS Management Console. This is the account we created in the previous show. Right there, you can see it says our lab account here. And so the purpose of this video is to set some parameters so that we know that we'll never get charged any money for playing around in our AWS sandbox. So we're going to set some reminders and some notifications to make sure that this lab is always free unless we want to. Now, as you progress in your skill with AWS, you're going to want to build out bigger and bigger configurations, and eventually some of them might begin to cost us a little money. But starting out, you don't have to worry about paying no money because, you know, the basics you're going to use the free tier for and you don't have to. But once you get good and you start learning everything and you want to start building some crazy configurations, you might get charged. So this is going to be beneficial to show you how to set your limits and set your notifications so that you don't spend a whole bunch of money playing around in your sandbox. So we're going to start out today with AWS billing, right? And as you can see here, we are at our management console, and if we go into the search bar, we can type in billing and click on billing, and it's going to bring us to our billing and cost management dashboard. And as you can see here, this is a brand new account. It's our lab account. We ain't got no money. But if you had been using this account in a production environment for your business or for intensive labbing, you might see some a dollar amount there that you owe, and it's going to be a cost breakdown month to month of how much money you owe AWS for using the thing. But since this is a free tier and we don't plan on going over it, ours is going to stay as zero as long as we possibly can make it, right? So the first thing we're going to do is take a look over here in the left-hand column, and you can see your choices in the management dashboard. All right, so now we're going to go back to the home page of management dashboard, and we want to set a budget, and AWS is going to send us emails and notifications to let us know, hey, you're getting close, or whatever the case may be. So we are going to click on budgets. We're going to go over to create a budget and create a budget. They've got 4 different kinds of budgets you can create, but we're just going to start off with creating a cost budget. This is the one they recommend you create. We're going to say next, and we want to start configuring the budget, right? So the period is going to be, how long do you want this budget to be in place? So you want it to be a monthly budget, a quarterly budget, a yearly budget. What is it going to be? What kind of budget? We're going to stick it at monthly. Do we want this to be a reoccurring budget, or do we want it to be a one-time budget that expires? We're going to say reoccurring. We're going to set when the budget starts. We're going to start it right away. It's going to start in December. It's going to be a fixed budget, so it's not going to change. It's going to stay the same. And so for this lab account, we don't want to spend over 20 bucks for nothing. So we're going to just go ahead and put 20 bucks in here. Now, ideally, we don't want to spend any money, and generally you're not going to spend any money to get started. But just to make absolutely sure, we're going to put 20 here because we do want to play with some configurations, and $20 seems like a reasonable amount to spend on you learning how to use AWS services and play around in the sandbox. To me anyway, right? So let's just do 20. So we put 20 there. And then we're going to scroll down. We're going to give this budget a name. This is going to be, you know, this is our lab budget. So we're going to say lab budget 1. Lab budget 1, that is going to be the name of our budget. Now they've got some advanced filtering options and stuff you can do with the Cost Explorer, but you don't have to do any of that initially. We're just going to go down and click next. Now we're going to create some alerts, right? And so we'll say add an alert threshold here. And these are how the alerts are going to work. We can set a threshold for the budget. So we'll say 80%. And obviously you can see that's what they have there. That's kind of recommended, but you can say 50%. Whenever our account reaches 50% of the budgeted amount of $20 and they give you a breakdown, which obviously is $10, send us a notification, right? So we can say actual, when our account actually reaches 50% of our budget, which is $10, we want AWS to send us an email, right? So we're going to write our email address in here. So this will be your personal email or your business email or whatever email you check regularly and you want to get this notification on. So we're going to put our email in there. If we wanted to send SMS alerts, we would tie it in here, but we don't have to do any of that initially. Same thing with the chatbot alerts. So we've got our threshold at 50% of the budget amount. This is the actual. So as soon as we get to $10, AWS is going to send us a what? Email letting us know, hey, you've reached 50% of your budget. So we're going to say next. We could add an action to this alert. And so what would happen is when the alert got triggered, if we had an action, whatever that action told AWS to do, it would do. So we could say when our budget reaches 50% or 80% or whatever, take this action, shut down the EC2 instance. And AWS can handle that for us and make sure we don't go over anything. But we're not going to set any actions. We're just going to move on to next. All right. So now we got the budget details, lab budget 1, start date, the budget amount, budget type, just the information about our budget, right? Now we can say, go ahead and create this budget. And now the lab budget is created. It's in there. The thresholds are okay right now. We got the budget amount for $20 and we can click on it and kind of look at the details as they go along. Right? It's going to give you a cost breakdown, what you spent so far, what you spent it on, when, all of that good stuff. Okay. Now, if say we wanted to edit this budget later, we created it, we're going to edit it. So we just simply, let's go back to budgets. We click the budget, come over here, say edit the budget. And then we're going to scroll down to where we want to edit. We could change the date. We could change the budget amount here. We could change the name of the budget. We ain't gonna change no, we just go next. And so we got one alert here. Let's say we want to add another alert. So we'll just say add another alert threshold. This is gonna be alert 2. And instead of an actual, this is gonna be a forecast. So let's use 80 for this one. 80% of the budget amount forecast. So AWS is gonna look at your usage and they're going to look out into the future and it's going to forecast when you're going to hit whatever your threshold is for your budget. So when AWS see, hey, you're going to hit your 80% of your budget, what do you want them to do? Send us an email. So we're going to put our email address in here. And if we wanted to add an SMS alert or a chatbot alert, we could do that here. We can say, add another threshold. If we wanted to add another threshold, when our budget gets to $16, they're gonna send us a notification. And we're gonna say next. And now we've got 2 alerts. At 50%, they're gonna send us an email and say, hey, you've reached 50%. Check your usage. When it forecasts that you're gonna come up on 80%, so this is before you actually reach that 80, it's gonna send you an email like, hey, you coming up on your 80, you'll hit it at this date, what you wanna do. So then we're gonna say next, we're gonna save it, and now we got a lab budget. Now, no matter what we do, we'll know before we start spending a whole lot of money in the lab. And in fact, before we even get to $20, as soon as we get to $10, it's going to let us know. And before we get to 16, it's going to let us know. So that we can take the appropriate action and not use up our budget. And, just a quick tip. Whenever you're in here making labs and you're making servers and you're doing EC2 instances, all well and fine. When you get ready to quit playing in the sandbox, make sure you stop all of your instances, terminate them, or just stop them, so that you're not going to be getting charged. Okay, that's just good stuff to know right there. So now we can go back over here to the left hand side and see what else we got, right? So now let's take a look at what a bill would look like. So we're going to go right over here to bills. Obviously, we don't have no bills because this is a new account, right? So this is bills for December. Let's go back to November. You click the down arrow. It'll take you back to the month. For many, many months, all of them would be here. So we're going to click November, and it's going to give us a total, an estimate, and some breakdowns. So as you can see here, total is 0. We haven't used anything. If I had any payments, they would be here. Payment summary. You click the down arrow, it'll take you through it all. Now your details, AWS services charges. AWS is going to break down what services you were charged for, how much you was charged for them, how long you used them, all of that. And so right now you can see we've got 3 categories here populated. It would be full. Whatever services we were using would be filled down, and the drop down arrow would go into specifics about the region, the time, the bandwidth you were using, how much it cost you per gigabyte, so on and so forth. As you can see here, every region you use services in will be in here. So US East, all of the regions will be in here, and it'll be a cost breakdown per region. And this stuff can get really granular as you possibly need it. That's billing. Obviously, payments is going to be any payments you've made, funds that get applied, and so on. Purchase orders if you use them. Next, we're going to go to the Cost Explorer, right? And we're going to launch Cost Explorer. This is going to be real time, what you're using, how much it's costing you at the moment you come in here to take a look at it. So as you can see, it's even broke down to the day, November 1st, November 5th, November 9th. Cost, how much you're using, daily unblended cost. You can go explore costs and break it down by service, by account, by region, by instance type, by usage, all of it. Very granular, detailed information on how you're using AWS services, how you're being charged, what it's costing you. You can also create reports, and if you have, they would be under recent reports. If you hadn't, you'd want to create one by clicking on new report. It's going to ask you what kind of report you want and walk you through the steps of how to create that report. All right, and so I would advise that you spend some time going through the billing and cost management dashboard. I just showed you how to quickly create a budget, but you definitely want to spend some time familiarizing yourself with the layouts, looks, and the features that are available in the billing dashboard, what you can see in the billing dashboard, and how to pull reports and monitor your usage. This is going to be very important so you can see how you're using resources in AWS as you move forward. You want to learn how to review these reports and just navigate this billing dashboard. So like I said, I suggest you take some time and familiarize yourself with that. Fam, I'm going to bring this video to an end on AWS Budgets. Just smash the like button if you haven't already, so we can get these videos in front of those who it may benefit the most. So with that, fam, until the next video, peace.